And we're back, dear viewers, after that beautiful report by our colleague Hajar Al-Muhanna. So now we have our first guest, Dr. Maram Aldihani, who's going to be talking about controlling children's behavior through a structured approach that involves implementing consistent strategies. Key elements include setting clear rules, using positive reinforcement to reward good behavior, and apply appropriate consequences for misbehavior. So, dear viewers, let's all welcome Dr. Maram Aldihani, an occupational therapist. Good morning. It's such a pleasure to have you with us.
Good morning. It's a pleasure. It's all mine. Thank you. And good morning for all of the viewers today.
Thank you for being here today. So, Doctor, how do you see children's behavior changing compared to previous generations, and what are the differences you've noticed?
We noticed a lot of changes over the year, especially in three main areas. The first area was like the motor skills. So we find a lot of change, a lot of skill was missing for the children nowadays, including they lost a lot of coordination, a lot of like fine motor and gross motor, that including motor planning, because they wasn't like exposure enough for them to explore like more active games.
Yes.
The other side we have is the cognitive skills. So during the cognitive skill, or within the cognitive skill, we notice a lot of memory loss, a lot of attention problems, and lastly we notice on their social skills. So we notice a lot of like social limitation. We start to observe a lot of anxiety appearing in the children in younger age. They are scared to leave their mom, they're scared to interact with other children same as their age. So these are the main changes we see among children nowadays that wasn't like very common on the past decade, for example.
The previous generations,
yes,
they played with tires, you know.
Exactly.
They lived mostly in the sea. And
exactly.
then in our age, you know, we played a little bit of video games and then bikes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
back on the day, so when you ground the child, you said, okay, go to your room. Now when you say go to your room, oh, you are rewarding me when I go to my room and play with my video game. So it was like a different way even to approach the child, even when you punish the child.
Yes, true, Dr. Maram. So also recently technology has played a big part in children's lives today. You know, everybody's playing on iPads or iPhones. Do you see this as something beneficial for children?
It's very delicate situation or delicate topic to tackle. So basically, technology, it comes very handy when we use it for education and when we use it for a lot of things for improving the child's skill. But unfortunately, we notice a lot of children or a lot of parents giving their child more hours than they expected to receive this technology, for example. So if he want to eat, they will give them the iPad to watch. Or if they want, for example, to go in the car from one area to another area, okay, watch your iPad until we receive. Back in the day, when the children like ride the car with their parent, they will observe the area, they will observe the route. So with time, they will develop a good memory, a good sense of locations, a good sense of mapping, and other things. So by providing the child more hours and more technology than they should have, they will receive a little bit of, let's say, problem on the future. So it's very sensitive when we pick the right amount of hour and the right amount of material they need to observe or need to interact with using the technology.
So, Dr. Maram, that's interesting for you to say that there are certain kinds of hours we should give the child to.
Yes, exactly. So every age they should have a very specific hour to play and explore the technology with, and very specific hour to use it as what they call for education and for to improve their skills. So when we use it over, we will receive a bad complication from that. And when we provide the child with the appropriate hours for developing himself with giving like safe time and safe duration of time to interact with technology, we will receive like a very good, the good side of the technology, basically.
Yes, Doctor, thank you for laying it out there. So also, since we are talking about online and interaction, how does social interaction affect these children in the young age?
You cannot imagine how we receive now referrals of children losing their social skill because of the online services we try to use these days. For example, before COVID, we have very minimum referral regarding anxiety, social phobias, and social skills. But nowadays, we receive it like 5 referral per day just for anxiety. Or these children are receiving comment from the school, they cannot interact or function within the school limit or within the kindergarten limit because they have limitation their social skills because they didn't expose enough for social situation to learn how to use their knowledge, how to use their vocabulary, and how to use their cognitive skill in a functional way.
Yes, Dr. Maram. So also, since you said there is a lack of social communication between children nowadays and the past, so what are some common behavioral issues related to this matter? You know, after watching the iPad so much and not interacting with other children, and then just going out in the world with all this knowledge gained from the iPad.
Interestingly, so when the children exposed for a longer hour for the, what they call it, video game and a lot of like fast and stimulation games. So when they transfer this skill to the normal life or to the reality, so we observe a lot of impulsivity. So children are not able to wait for the other person to finish their sentence or to finish their instruction to implement what they want to do. So we observe a lot of impulsivity among children, which cause a lot of behavioral problem that wasn't available or we observed in the past.
All right, that's interesting to know. So Dr. Maram, also since we're talking about interacting with online activity games that are highly competitive and fast-paced, and then laying it out and talking to other people, do you see hyper activities in kids, and what are the rates in your clinic? What do you do
The rate is very high these days, and nowadays we receive a lot of comment from the school directly. In the past, we received it from the parents. So typically, the parent will say, I cannot control my child, he's not following the instruction, I cannot control him when he have his tantrum or meltdown. So now we're receiving an official complaint from the school. We cannot control this child within the school system, which is very interestingly, because the school here, they are provided with a lot of strategy and a lot of technique to control the children within this limit. So you cannot imagine how much we receive referral regarding just the behavior of the hyperactivity nowadays. So the children, after COVID, they were like locked down in the houses, so they have a lot of energy, and after that, when they unleash them for the society, so they have a lot of activity. They are not aware of the social norm now yet, and the parents become very lenient with them. So when they don't follow, like, for example, strict rules to implement the good behavior or how to remove the bad behaviors. So we observe a lot of hyperactivity among children from like kindergarten till the high school. So approaching them with a good strategy, with a good technique will help them to overcome this hyperactivity they have, and will help to improve their performance. So also, Dr. Maram, since you mentioned parents, and how do they change with adapting different styles over the years? In the past it was different, now it's different. A lot of change we observe, especially now we observe the parents become very, very lenient with their children. So basically, nowadays, if the child did like a very simple task, he will receive his reward within a second from finishing this task. In the past, the child needs to finish his schoolwork, he needs to finish the full academic year, then he will receive his reward. So the child was patient enough to wait for his reward. Now, for every single task, the child cannot even wait for like 5 to 3 minutes, or he will have his meltdown. That's why the parents become more lenient with their children when they're giving them reward and so on. So doctor, sorry to interrupt you. What kind of rewards are we expecting, you know, like in the past and now? What's the difference? There's a huge difference. In the past, they were promising the children to go for a picnic and going outside. So for nowadays, when they promise the child to go in the picnic, it's like torturing the child because he's losing some of his social skills. So nowadays, the problem was when they become more lenient with their children, even the type of reward they're choosing for this child, it does not match with the child age or with the child, for example, needs. So if you finish your homework, I will give you the iPad for 5 minutes, but he already have it for 1 hour before. So they're increasing the causes or the trigger of the main problem they have. That's why we always recommend for a parent to have very strict schedules for rewarding the child, so we don't overcomplicate our behavior problem in the future. Yes, that's definitely true. You know, in the past, my parents used to pull out the power plug out of the computer. And so everything will be done within minutes. True. So we can go back online and play games. But we go offline again. That doctor has made us learn new languages, like in recent days, about children going into this media online, and they learn new language, new words. Exposing the child for a new culture is always useful, but the problem is when we overexpose the child, or we don't expose it in the very, let's say, filter way, that will help the child to not develop the skill we need. That will help him to undevelop the skill we need. For example, we see a lot of children, they miss using the pronouns, they miss using the word, or even how to talk to other people, because they were exposed to two different language, and that does not meet their need or meet their what they called their potential until now. So when we expose the child to a new culture, we need to check his skills, we need to check how his capacity, for example, and then we can, accordingly, we can expose him to the culture we want to develop. For example, develop a new culture, develop a new language, develop a new, let's say, concept with the child. So we need to filter the process according to the child's need and skills.
Very nice, well explained there, Dr. Maram. Also, since we are talking about technology and children, nowadays the Ministry of Education, mashallah, is having technology at the best standards in the schools.
Exactly, yeah.
So how do children adapt to this change?
They adapt very quickly because they already live within this era of technology. So they are helping us to choose the best technology for them. When they do a lot of research, they use the children and their feedback to choose which is the appropriate way to deliver the information for them. Yeah. Especially they do a lot of work on the nursery now. You see a lot of them, they adopt a new technology strategy to help the child increase their exploration skills and help them to increase the sense of exploring a new idea and how to ask and increase their curiosity with the new word. So they do a lot of work, but still children are very fast when they develop. So when we provide them with the new technology, it's very soon they will get like bored of this technology and they need the new one. So we always need to be on our toe just to keep up with their technology demand.
Definitely, Dr. Maram. Also, since we're talking also about children and parents, how do you advise parents to navigate their way through their children going through this latest technology?
Always we need to set rules. If we set rules, we will receive a very good feedback from the parent and very good feedback from the child as well. So if we have very clear rule between the child and us, when we try to develop a new skill with them or to develop a new, for example, routine with them, the child have very clear expectation what he will receive and what is, let's say, not the punishment, what the thing he will unreceive, for example, if he does not follow the rules. So clear expectation, clear rules with the parent will help the child to be good and to be in his good behaviors, and he will follow the parent. So always set clear rules with the parents, and they will have a very good communication with their children.
Inshallah, hopefully. So, Dr. Maram, have you noticed that children these days, when you talk to a 13-year-old, it's not like the past?
Yes, it's totally different, yes.
It's like talking to a 30-year-old. Yeah.
Exactly, that's why I said it's like like not have like a chat with them, it's like having a meeting with them.
Yeah.
So you need to have your expectation set down, you have your cause and the positive thing you have. So we need to have very good communication skill with them before we receive unwanted, for example, result.
Definitely. Yeah. So, Dr. Maram, also as we expose children, you know, in their school, they're kind of mixed with other cultures, and they have to learn different cultures and norms.
Yeah.
How do you see this as beneficial?
It's very useful for the child to be exposed to different culture with different people. It will help him to widen his perspective and how to learn with other people. But the problem is sometimes when the child does not match, his skill does not match the standard of the school or standard of the demand he will receive, here we'll have a problem. For example, if the child have, like, let's say, limited cognitive skill or limited attention span, and we expose him to a lot of demand, for example, a new culture, multiple culture at once, multiple demand at once, that will be hindering the child's skill to develop. On the other hand, if the child have like a very good memory and very good attention, exposing him to multiple culture, it will help accelerate the idea or accelerate the acquiring a new skill for this child.
Perfect, Dr. Maram. Such a pleasure to have you on here with us. So would you like to have any final advice for our dear viewers about parenting?
Yes, as we mentioned during the interview, using technology, it's a very good thing, but we always need to use it within a limit. So using anything without a limit, using anything without a set like a limit for it, it will flip. We will have the other side of the coin.
Yes.
So yeah, we need to be careful when we use technology for the child. So it can help the child develop his language, his communication, and other things. But if we use it on very, let's say, more than we're supposed to have it with the child, we will receive unwanted result that will hinder the developing of the child.
Definitely,
Yeah.
I totally agree with you, Dr.
Yeah.
Maram. So dear viewers, would like to thank Dr. Maram Aldihani, an occupational therapist, for being here with us on Good Morning Kuwait. Such a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you. Pleasure all mine.
Thank you. So dear viewers, now she'll take a break and we'll be back.